Hello. So, we need to talk about boundaries and how you have to set them for yourself going forward. Much of the reason that you were involved in this abusive relationship for a long time is because the narcissist kept pushing your boundaries and you kept moving them and forgiving them for pushing your boundaries, and it was a cycle you got in. I don't want you to lose being a forgiving person. Forgiveness is a wonderful attribute. We talked about forgiveness before. But I do want you to caution to whom you give that forgiveness and for what reasons. If you have a list of boundaries, whatever those are in your mind, they're different for everybody. And we'll call it lines in the sand, behavior that you will not, tolerate. Or that you insist, but there could be good behavior that you insist somebody has towards you. That's a different kind of boundary also. That's a bar that you want to reach, I guess, is more than a boundary. But if somebody breaks your boundaries, and they can be sneaky about it, you have to be careful. Because if they're not respecting your boundaries, then they're probably somebody for whom you need the boundaries. That's the exact person for whom you need them. Say, for example, even in the beginning of a relationship, it could be, they could disguise it as some love thing. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Yep, this has been nice. I really don't want a serious relationship. I only want to see somebody like a couple times a week, or whatever you say to that person. And they insist, oh no, I want to go all in. I just love you. I need you 7 days a week. And boom, they start showing up 7 days a week, and you allow it. Because they disguise it as they love you so much that you're just floored. You just moved your own boundary. You had it for a reason when you met the person. That's just one example. So I'm just going to go with this one example. You forgave them for moving your boundary because they disguised it as, ooh, but I love you so much, which is a big red enough flag anyway because it's the beginning of the relationship. I won't say they can't possibly feel that way because maybe love at first sight does exist. But for them to disregard what you told them and plow right over it and through it, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And you need to have your boundaries going forward. Whether it's, you might say, I'm not going to allow phone calls after this certain time or before this certain time. Or I'm not going to say yes to go out to dinner with somebody unless they give me a certain, amount of notice. Or I'm not going to just be somebody's ear for their problems and get nothing in return. There's a lot of different ways to set boundaries. But figure out yours, and when you set them, treat it as ironclad. It's an agreement you're giving yourself from yourself. And be unforgiving about it. You won't bend. I'm not talking about compromise in a healthy relationship. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about healthy boundaries that you set for yourself to protect you against entering this kind of relationship ever again. And it doesn't matter if it's a relationship or a friend or a coworker. It's certain ways that you're demanding to be treated by people. Certain ways that you're being demanded to be treated and that you're demanding. So once you set them, do not falter. And if somebody passes one of them and you forgive it and you catch yourself, back it up. So what? Back it up. You know what? I allowed you to think that this was okay last week, but it isn't. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to take some time by myself to really think things through or whether or not. Now, you're saying, oh, but everything's perfect. That could shake things up. That could make him go away. That could make... Okay. Is that the worst thing? You have to ask yourself, is that the worst thing? If you're setting boundaries of self-respect and somebody's trying to plow through those, then that's disrespect. Certainly not respecting the things that you're telling them you need. That is plowing through your self-respect and disrespecting you. Blatantly in your face, they are doing it. So even if they disguise it as my example of the beginning of a relationship, somebody's coming over a lot, that's still pushing your boundaries. So I want you to respect what you feel should be in a relationship. And I want you to write it down. And I don't mean like, oh, he's cute, he's smart, he's funny. No, no, no. How you want to be treated. Be very specific on what you think. Wow, that was wrong when he did this. That was wrong when he did that. I don't mean the act. Way before any of the acts, there were hints that were dropped. There were things that were wrong. You felt it, you knew it, you ignored it. No more ignoring. In order to do that, we need to manifest some kind of list that we can look to and be cognizant if that happens again. So make it ironclad, and if somebody breaks one of them, you say it right away. Excuse me, hi, I have a question, and you talk about it. Now, it may be somebody might say, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm leaving room for human error. I am leaving room for human error. And you'll know by their reaction. If they're evasive and unapologetic and snub and glib and insipid and just, then they're probably a narcissist trying to break your boundaries, to break you down and put you in their control. So just really set them, really live by them. You deserve your own rules and regulations to treat you a certain way. My God, of course you do. Of course you do. We all do. We all do. And would you want think of a cousin or a friend or your daughter or your mother to be treated in the way that this person is doing? If the answer is no, then they're probably breaking a boundary that you should have set for yourself. So think about your boundaries, go forth and employ them with vigilance. Okay.